live from the Richard Harris Law Firm studios.
Knights come in. Here's Marner working through the slot. Puck came off the stick. In front, they score! Marner to Dorofeev, and the Knights take a 2-0 lead.
This is the VGK Insiders Show.
Goes right to Hutton out of the box. Gloves it to himself. Opens up. Closing. He shoots. Blocker save. Rebound. They score. Brett Howden.
With Darren Millard and Ryan Wallace.
Taves a shot pad save. Eichel the rebound. He lofts it toward the goal. Wide. Race for the puck. Down ahead of the pack. No icing. He scores. Nick Dowd turns on the afterburners.
On Fox Sports Las Vegas.
Welcome in, Vegas Golden Knights Insider Show, Fox Sports Las Vegas. Ryan Wallace, Darren Millard, Jared Justice hanging out with you for the next 2 hours as we break down Game 1 of the Western Conference Final. A big 4-2 victory for the Golden Knights yesterday. How we doing, boys?
Win's a win. Off to a winning start for the third straight series. Not a bad way to kick off the Western Conference Final and a fifth trip to the third round in 9 years. That was a pretty good hockey game last night. That was a fun game. I know it was tense for the first half. Vegas never trailed, which always feels better. But if you just took a step back and you were a person in Wyoming or you were a person in Sioux City, then you were entertained with that hockey game. The two best teams in the Western Conference put on a nice show last night.
Yeah, they absolutely did. I was thoroughly entertained. I thought it was a really good game, very competitive game, pretty even game. Even though the Golden Knights had a 3-0 lead, it did feel like one of those scenarios where, Colorado was right there in the background, and I thought there were a couple of standout performers for the Golden Knights, one of which being Carter Hart. And the Golden Knights, they accomplished the job, right? They get that first win in Denver. They are going home with at least a split, but now the opportunity is there to be greedy and try to get the next one.
Well, I think both teams left the rink last night and could be happy with how they played last night and were performed. And on the Colorado side, couple of bounces go your way. You finish on a couple of chances. So you think about the Kadri opportunity at the end of the first period. That's a puck that if it goes in and it falls, it's a much different game. So I think Colorado could be happy with the way they played, and Vegas, obviously, with the win, is really pleased walking out of there with an opening game victory and guaranteed to go home at the very least 1-1.
Yeah, I think for Vegas, they executed at a really high level offensively, right? Like their opportunities, their chances, they buried their looks. And, you continue to get production out of the likely sources, the Brett Howdens and the Pavel Dorofeevs of the world, another really strong game for Mitch Marner. And then you get some unlikely sources of offense, right? Dylan Coghlan, he gets his first career playoff goal. So you like that from a Golden Knights perspective. Nick Dowd ices it with an empty netter, an important goal for the Golden Knights. And then, you mentioned the Kadri opportunity for Colorado. Logan O'Connor ripped one off the bar in the first period as well. So certainly some opportunities, some chances left on the table for the Colorado Avalanche yesterday.
Okay, I'm going to be fully transparent here. I didn't know Nick Dowd could skate that fast. He turned on the afterburners there. I rewatched that empty net goal as many times as I've watched an empty net goal in recent memory, because I was curious, how did he get that big of a jump on Colorado? And John Tortorella brought up an interesting point today, and we'll get to his availability shortly. But everybody else, when the puck is shot towards an empty net, pulls up. Watch it next time there's an empty net opportunity and the puck goes down the ice. Everybody in the rink on the ice pulls up a little bit, waiting to see if it's going to go in or not. And Nick Dowd had his head down and was tracking it. And again, I watched it 4 times last night to see how. And there was a great low angle from the empty net zone, and you could see him just put his head down and go, and everybody else was watching the puck, and that's the way he was able to get a step on everybody. And once again, An empty net goal feels pretty good for the team that scores it, and it's deflating for the team that allows it. So next time somebody offers up the theory that empty net goals shouldn't matter in personal stats, i.e. Alexander Ovechkin and what he's been able to do, just point to that feeling last night for the Vegas Golden Knight fans. But that was the icing on the cake. Not trailing was great. And Dylan Coghlan, let's go to his performance last night. Just over 10 minutes. And he had a couple of chances early in the game, and he was off net. And Brian McCormick and I, as we want to do, text back and forth during the course of the game, and we were just lamenting. He gets those good looks, got to be able to bear down and hit the net. And I don't know whether that was in his mind. It's not something that I want to talk about in front of everybody, more just one of those off to the side conversations. When he got that beautiful feed from Sock, and he's in a perfect spot to shoot, is he less, after being off net, worried about picking a corner and just making the goaltender come up with a save? It's not a shot that or location that is used a ton closer to the 5-hole, but I think he surprised Scott Wedgwood on that shot location. And being able to zip it on that spot. The goaltender's generally thinking like wide to the blocker side, high to the glove, or just over the pad on the glove side. You're protecting those spots, and it's almost one of those like fake outs where you go right at them, like penalty kicks in soccer. How often do you see somebody just go right at the goalie because they're going to opt to go one side or the other? That's what it reminded me of with Dylan Coghlan. But the play that I want to really compliment him on was breaking up 3-on-2 in the second period. And he left his feet and was able to block the pass coming across. And that one stood out to me as a remarkable play, because at the end of the day, he is a defender and he's earning his ice time, his minutes, based on being a defender and being responsible out there. And the goal was incredible. The goal gave them an opportunity to lead and feel better about themselves. But the play at the end of the second period just secured the opportunity to go in up a pair and feeling confident. And that was a play that for more of a hockey purist as opposed to the goal was something that I appreciated a whole lot more, even though the goal was the play that gave them the lead.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you're always going to gravitate toward the plays that result in goals for, right? Like, that's just kind of a natural thing. But to your point, the play that Dylan Coghlan makes in his own zone, breaking up that cross-ice pass, it's a massive play in the context of the game, and it's what he's supposed to do, right? Like, that's the expectation. If you're going to be in the lineup and you're going to be playing as a defenseman, you got to be able to make some defensive plays. And I think that's the area of the game where Dylan has grown the most, his comfort level in defending those types of plays. And without it, it could have been a different game. So I think you get the full spectrum, right? We know he's got a great shot. He was able to find the back of the net. It's easy to root for a guy like Dylan Coghlan in that way, but then you've got to herald what he does and what he's done and how he's grown on the other side of the puck, and because that's his job. That's what he's here to do.
Did the Golden Knights steal one last night?
I don't view it as the Golden Knights stealing one. I thought Carter Hart was exceptional. I thought Colorado had a lot of possession, and I think that they had their chances, but I also think the Golden Knights did a lot of really good things in not really giving Colorado as many dangerous quality chances as they typically have. I thought Vegas along the walls was tremendous. I thought they did a good job taking away the middle of the ice. I thought it was a well-played game on both sides, and I thought the Golden Knights just made a couple more big plays than the Colorado Avalanche did.
Okay, I'm going to go with, if not a steal, then that was a goalie win.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's fair. You can go that direction. I'm okay with that.
I think Colorado's the Sports Logique numbers, Colorado, an expected goal pace of 4. They were held to 2. Vegas expected goals were 3. So the data said Colorado played well enough to win that game by just over a goal. And here's the number that really jumps out at me. It was the second highest number of high danger saves a goaltender has made in the Stanley Cup playoffs by Carter Hart last night. So that's significant. And the last time Colorado had that, and Colorado was the last team that had that many high danger chances, they scored 9 goals. That was game 1 against Minnesota. And Jesper Wallstedt had an incredible night, even though he allowed that high number of goals. And Carter Hart was able to keep Vegas in it long enough to get the lead and then preserve that advantage. But in the Sports Logique numbers, high danger scoring chances were 23-13 in favor of Colorado. Scoring chances off the cycle, 13-2. So there is some tipping of the numbers. One area though that I thought Vegas was good at all night long, and they scored a couple of goals on this fashion, was chances off the rush. Vegas was really good in the neutral zone and then turning that into opportunities. Some didn't result in shots. Some were blocked. A couple were off net. But I think the Coughlin goal is a goal off the rush in which he jumps into the play, is the late guy, and finds the back of the net. The Brett Howden goal is a goal off the rush, and it's helped out. Ben Hutton coming out of the penalty box. I love that he shot, by the way. And the rebound comes out to Brett, and he's able to not only get a hand on it to keep the play alive, but also tap it in before the went in the net, because that wouldn't have been a discussion. But you could see that taken like 35 minutes to review on both sides, whether or not he would have gloved it in. So good on him to be able to tap the puck in the net. But off the rush, that's an area that, when I think of Colorado, just pops into my head, being fast and transition play. And they had opportunities last night, but Vegas actually generated more off the rush than the Colorado Avalanche.
And I mean, do you think that that's something the Golden Knights can replicate over the duration of the series? Like, do you think that they can be
and depends on
more
what
dangerous team
Cale
on the
McCarr's
rush?
status is, right? Is Cale McCarr in? Is he out? There's no answer one way or the other. He did not skate today on the day off between games 1 and 2. Neither did Mark Stone. Just so we're keeping track of the 2 superstars. And no commitment by the Colorado Avalanche head coach Jared Bednar. But 5-on-5, Cale McCarr impacts the game arguably more than special teams because he's such a great skater and can move the puck, and that affects their transition game. And if the Colorado defense aren't as active, it should allow the Vegas Golden Knights to have a little bit more opportunity to be aggressive or seize those opportunities and make plays with it. If you're working Cale McCarr, you don't want to make a turnover against him because it's going right back the other way. So if he's not in the lineup, you can be slightly more on your front foot and be thinking of making an offensive play instead of worrying about taking care of the puck. And there's a reason why you have to take care of the puck, because he'll burn you. And I'm fully up for that. But I just thought Vegas was really engaged in the transition game last night.
Yeah, and you highlighted the goals that they were able to score in transition, and obviously the execution level there for the Golden Knights when they had those looks was high enough to result in a couple of goals. And again, you take advantage of the opportunities in front of you, and Cale McCarr didn't play game 1, so for the Golden Knights they were able to capitalize on that. They were able to find a way to be better than Colorado in transition and find those plays. And again, you have an opportunity in front of you if Cale McCarr's not in the lineup to try to get a win and take a Colorado team that is not going to be as dynamic as they would if he was in the lineup. So you get the job done. I think that was pretty impressive from the Golden Knights last night.
And while this postseason has been dominated by discussion about the Golden Knights penalty kill and shorthanded goals, can we just give a little bit of love to the VGK power play? Because they're scoring a goal every night, different ways. And again, last night I call the broken play the most dangerous play in hockey. It's unique to our sport that even like a puck sliding off the stick, like it did for Mitch Marner sliding into the zone last night, turned into a great opportunity because all of a sudden now you're playing catch up. Everybody's playing catch up to it, but him turning around and being able to find Pavel Dorofeev and who put it home. Like the VGK power play is a difference maker. Is it scoring 2 goals a game? No. Is it scoring 3 goals a game? Is it going 3 for 4 or 2 for 4? Those types of situations? No. But it's scoring a goal every night, going back to early in the Anaheim series.
Yeah, and that was kind of the thing that I was hoping to see, right? When I was arguing with you and Alec Martinez in the Utah series, it was more for me about the power play not losing the Golden Knights momentum. And when you factor in that they're just finding ways to put the puck in the back of the net at least once a game with the power play, that gives you a lot of confidence in everything else that you're doing. But it also is something that you can bank on. When you've done it for this long, when you've had this much success in a row, in the playoffs, you can bank that if the Golden Knights are going to get a couple of looks, 2-3 looks on the power play, they're likely going to find a way to put one in the back of the net. That's massive. Yeah,
6 of the last 7 games, they've scored a power play goal. I think you're moving the goalposts a little bit on that argument.
I'm not. I'm not moving the goalposts at all. I told you, and I said it, you can pull the tape, and I'll have Jared do it. Like I said, I didn't
Well, why
want
can't you
the
pull your
power
own
play
tape?
to
Why do you
lose.
have to get Jared to do it?
Would you pull your own tape?
Of course I would. I record all
No,
of
you
these. I
wouldn't.
go back and
Okay,
listen to the
that's-
podcast, evaluate our
that's funny.
performances.
I had to get you on the air today. I had to troubleshoot your issue.
But
Come on now.
I can pull tape. I've got all
Yeah, you're
kinds
not
of
gonna pull
access
your
to
own tape.
podcasts. I do like
Okay.
17 of them. Of course I know how
I
to
know.
do that. But
I
I
know.
think
You're a
you're
very busy
changing
guy.
you're moving the goalposts
I'm not.
a little bit.
I'm not. I said flat out.
on the
I don't
power
want
play.
them to. I don't want the power play to lose momentum. In the Utah series, there were at least a few occasions where the Golden Knights had a power play. They didn't generate anything. They lost momentum, and Utah scored within 2 to 3 to 4 minutes after that unsuccessful power play. And I said very clearly when you ambushed me with Alec Martinez that I didn't want the power play to lose momentum anymore. That was my argument the entire time.
Ambushed you?
Yeah, you ambushed me.
I just brought him on the air.
Oh, no. You started the argument about the power play. And then you put the cans on Martinez without telling me. And then you said, that's a really interesting take, Ryan. Let's see how Alec Martinez feels about it.
And he spoke independently.
Yes.
Marty
Yeah,
does
yeah.
not need me to tell him what to say. Have you
No, I
watched
didn't
AM
say that
Rewind?
either.
It's outstanding.
I didn't say that you needed to coach him on it. I'm just saying that it would have been nice to know ahead of time when I was trying to make the argument that I was making the argument not just to Darren Millard, but to Alec Martinez.
Why would that change who your
'Cause
audience
maybe
is?
I could have been a little bit more eloquent.
Oh.
Yeah.
You should never worry about who's listening, although it does matter. Every now and then, when you find out so-and-so has been listening, you're like, ooh, what did I say? Did I phrase that properly? It happens to all of us. I'll get the odd call for people from 100% Hockey inside the game, just saying, hey, I heard your take on that. Can you break that down for me a little bit? And most times it's somebody from the league. And we have good conversations.
Oh, you answer the bell? You explain what you mean?
Oh, yeah.
Or
Absolutely.
you don't just put it on red?
Oh, put it on, like, unread?
like leave them on red. Like they saw that you looked at it and then you moved on without responding.
No, they phone. They phone.
Oh, okay.
There's no room for texting there. Absolutely not. The Golden Knights win game number 1. Yeah, no, and trust me, I take those calls too. That's not one of those where voicemail, like, oh, so-and-so's calling. I'll just click that. No, you got to take the ones.
Yeah.
But it's good. I like the people of the National Hockey League. I like that they listen. That's the other thing. Mm-hmm. I appreciate that they pay attention to what's happening, and they reach out to clarify things, which is a good thing to be happening instead of just, one, ignoring what's being said, and 2, going off all half-cocked about what so-and-so said and talking about it. It's good that there's some interaction around there. The Golden Knights win 4-2, take game number 1 of the Western Conference Final. Wonderful performance out of Carter Hart last night. The Golden Knights win without their captain in Mark Stone, who missed the opener of the series. Don't know about his status going forward. Did skate this week a couple of times, so that's positive. We'll get into that. Plus the pucks dropping in the Eastern Conference Final. Rest versus rust. That is the conundrum between Montreal and Carolina. We'll talk to John Shannon, our NHL insider, as we continue on the VGK Insider Show on Fox Sports Las Vegas.
He is 100% of the reason to listen to 100% Hockey. The legend, John Shannon, joins the VGK Insider Show.
Joining us, hold on just a little bit because something I want to just point out. Stanley Cup playoff scoring. Mitch Marner leads all point producers with 19. Jack Eichel is second at 16. So the Golden Knights have the top 2 point producers in the Stanley Cup playoffs. When it comes to goals, make it 1, 2, 3. Dorofeev, the first player to hit double digits in this postseason, followed by Brett Howden, who now has 9, and his line mate Mitch Marner with 7. Pavel Dorofeev, Brett Howden, Mitch Marner, 1, 2, 3 in goal scoring. Nathan McKinnon also has 7. Alex Newhook of Montreal Canadiens also has 7. Logan Stankoven of the Carolina Hurricanes with 7 as well. Those are the players that are still involved in the Stanley Cup playoffs. But it's incredible what the Vegas Golden Knights are doing offensively in this Stanley Cup playoffs. Going into last night, Colorado was leading the playoffs in goals per game, and the Golden Knights managed to hit that magical 4-goal mark while holding the Colorado Avalanche to just 2.
Yeah, I mean, offensively, the Golden Knights have been excellent all postseason long. They really have. They've been able to find the back of the net with regularity. Their execution has been incredibly high, and the fact of the matter is the Golden Knights have the leading goal scorer in Dorofeev, the leading assist man in Jack Eichel, and the leading point producer in Mitch Marner, all playing. When you've got that trifecta, good things are usually happening for you offensively.
So these are the numbers. If you were going to extrapolate what Pavel Dorofeev, Mitch Marner, and Brett Howden have done, like just to put it into regular season context.
Sure.
Pavel Dorofeev is on a 63-goal pace over an 82-game season. That'll change next year. But this past season, if he would have got off to this kind of start last October, it would put him on a 63-goal pace. Brett Howden, a 57-goal pace. Like that's what kind of production the Golden Knights are getting from those 2 players right now.
Yeah, it's unreal in a lot of ways. You look at what it would be over 82 games, then you factor in how much more difficult it is to score in the playoffs and how everything is kind of magnified to a certain degree. It puts into context just how good Dorofeev and Brett Howden have been at finishing off their opportunities and their chances. And, the other thing to look at when it comes to Howden specifically is now he's got 18 career playoff goals. half of which have come in this postseason run. So it's a run for the ages right now for Brett Howden.
Well, he had 12 goals this year on the season.
Yeah.
No, he was out for a while, absent, unavailable, but 12 goals, and has followed it up with 9 already in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Just to continue the story, if you put the playoff performances into an 82 game schedule and the pace, Mitch Marner, like his career best for points in a season, 102. Triple digits. Vegas has never had a 100-point player. Mitch Marner did it last year with the Toronto Maple Leafs. He right now is over 82 games, would be on pace for 120 points. So these are some pretty special performances we've got going, and that's not even digging into what Jack Eichel's doing with his contributions right now. The goals aren't there, but certainly the points are. He's leading the Stanley Cup playoffs in assists. So you look through it, and 2023 was spectacular. This is a slightly different take on it. They chipped away at the individual contributions during 2023. They're front runners right now with that kind of production.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, you look at Marner and what he's done, what he's been able to accomplish to this point in the postseason. It's a heck of a run for Mitch Marner, and it doesn't seem like he's going to slow down anytime soon. Jack Eichel continues to be the playmaker for this Vegas Golden Knights team. And, again, you look at Pavel Dorofeev, Brett Howden, they're the finishers. They're the guys that are putting the puck in the back of the net. And when you're getting that production and you're getting it consistently, you're finding a lot of goal scoring for the Golden Knights so far in the postseason.
We'll get to Mike Rupp from the NHL Network in just a little bit as we connect with John Shannon. Also, you'll hear from John Tortorella, as well as Mitch Marner, who is at the podium today on this off day, greeting the media, sitting beside Ivan Barbashev. Tomas Hertl also spoke today, and I asked him, like, does he feel different? Is there a different feeling to start this round than there was at the playoffs when he was going through that flat stretch, and he tries to make it all about the team, which it is. Like, wins, losses, you lean into the victories, the progress. You're into the third round. This is a great first time he's been in the third round with the Vegas Golden Knights. So that makes a lot of the angst go away, especially in the playoffs. Regular season, you do, like, it does wear on you a little bit, the contributions. But I do look at Tomas Hertl as a situation where he feels so much better about his game right now than he did a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, and he should. And, I think that can be an X factor for the Golden Knights moving forward. And, I'll be honest with you. I want to hear from our X factor on the VGK Insider Show, John Shannon. He's on.
Hello, John. I did get the text that you were available.
I'm the X Factor. Never know.
You are. How are you?
You never know. I'm well. Well, beautiful day. When you got off days and you're coming off a victory, things are pretty good.
What did you make of the 4-2 victory by the Golden Knights in game number 1? First home loss by the Avalanche in this Stanley Cup playoff run.
Carter Hart was really good. The depth of the Golden Knights, not just team, but organization, comes through. And that's always an important part of the evolution of a Stanley Cup playoffs, because players are going to get injured. That there's going to be extra players required. So when a guy like Dylan Coghlan can show up and contribute, that's a big part of it. And then, I was listening to your talk about Eichel and what he's done and what Mitch has done. I just think that the depth of the Golden Knights forwards really came through. And by the way, it doesn't get enough acclaim as a defensive defenseman, but Shea Theodore was awesome last night.
Matching up a lot with Nathan McKinnon, yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned Shea Theodore, and obviously I think you go back to how the series against the Anaheim Ducks ended for the Golden Knights, and the fact of the matter is Shea Theodore had a massive game in Game 5 when Braden McNabb was assessed the 5-minute major, and then he comes through with another big performance. Is this maybe the best defensive version of Shea Theodore we've seen, or you've seen, John?
That's a difficult thing to analyze based on what his career has been. But, every time you mention Shea Theodore and what he contributes to the hockey club, whether you're in Vegas or whether you're in one of the other cities in the NHL, you always assume we're talking about the offensive side of the puck. He doesn't get very much credit, Ryan, for the defensive side of the puck. And so when he does such a good job as he did last night, it really just stands out and deserves some recognition. I think he's probably been as good at times in the big games over the years for the Golden Knights. But when you have somebody as prolific as Nathan MacKinnon that you're assigned to, and you can do as good a job as he did, I think that it comes to mind that perhaps we're never giving the respect, the defensive side of the game that Shea plays, enough due.
John Shannon's with us on the VGK Insider Show on Fox Sports Las Vegas. Darren Millard in Denver. Ryan back in
How did you swing
Vegas.
the trip to Denver, though? I want to know, how'd you swing that trip? Did Gosher lose the straw vote or something?
No, you want to know the truth? Like, I always tell people I will not lie to them on this show. I may hold back some facts at times that I'm not
you're obviously married
to pass along. Yes, but I will never lie to people. So you asked me a flat-out question. How did this happen? Ghosh has a rock concert. His band has a gig. So he did the pregame show last night. Yeah, he did the pregame show last night in my chair. I've got the opportunity to come on the road, and Ashley's going to do game 2 tomorrow night. But double minor, Gosher's band, perfect name for a hockey guy.
Where's he playing? Come on, I might show up. Where's he playing?
Frankie's Uptown in downtown Summerlin.
I'm a little
still
far
available.
away from there. I'm a little far from there.
I can get you a wristband. That'll get you a beverage and a snack.
Hold on.
That's the only reason why I'm here.
I can get backstage?
Yes.
Whoa.
You can actually. I could set it up that you could be on the stage.
You know what? I could be pretty good in the backup group.
What would be John Shannon's if you could play an instrument? What would be your instrument of choice?
Oh, a saxophone for sure.
Really?
Oh, yeah, come on. Clarence Clemens, come on.
Yeah.
Come on, a little East Street band.
I'm a guitar guy.
But never mind that. I got my favorite band as a group as a kid, I used to get in arguments. We were better the Temptations or the Four Tops. And the Four Tops were by far the better group. I can cut that rug pretty well. I'd be good in the backup doing the shotgun and jiving.
Oh my God, you're old.
Yeah, well, you know what? If the worm turns,
you said that the other day on the podcast, and I had to tell everybody like where that comes from. The worm turns.
Shakespeare,
you're good
come on.
The worm is a synonym for a snake, by the way. So the Cale Makar factor. What are you hearing, and where does Colorado miss him the most?
How about all 28 minutes he plays? The domino effect of Makar not being in the lineup when it really exposes Devon Taves to have to do far too much, and then the drop off after Taves and Makar is quite sudden. I would imagine that there will be a lot of discussion, even if Colorado wins, how they got themselves in this position of not having enough depth on the blue line during the Stanley Cup playoffs, and quite frankly, that dovetails right into the Dylan Coghlan conversation.
Yeah.
You know, if you're able to go to your American League team or able to go to your Black Aces and find somebody of Coughlin's experience and his ability, you're not going to miss as much when he's the number 6 or 7 defenseman. But I actually had to look up who the number 6 defenseman for Colorado was going to be last night. And I'll be honest, I'm not even sure how to pronounce his name.
Nice.
How do you,
John?
How do you pronounce his name?
It's not nice. Aiken.
No,
Okay.
it's a Sean.
It's a Sean.
Yeah,
It's always
Sean.
been a Sean. It's not Aiken.
You know,
You probably think of the guy that bought Eastern Airlines, Kyle Icon. That's who you're thinking of. Yeah.
You know,
No,
both
but
teams
it's a
have
Sean.
gone. Both teams have gone 8 deep on their
Yeah,
defensive
and by
units
the
this
way,
year.
you know, you get to the Stanley Cup final, you're going to go 9 or 10 deep. So that's going to be a great conversation in the summertime with Joe Sakic and Jared Bednar and Chris McFarland. Is how did we get ourselves into this spot of not having enough depth defensemen and then going out and finding insurance for it next year? But again,
then you're leaning on Brent Burns a lot more.
Well, yeah, and at 41 years old, playing 18 minutes is too long. He's a good, serviceable player, but you can only go so far with a guy like Burns playing that many minutes, and that's the real challenge right now that they have without Makar. I mean, he does everything that they need him to do: the puck moving side, the special teams side. He's still a good defenseman. So, I mean, they're missing him in exponential ways. I mean, yesterday morning, correct me if I'm wrong, yesterday morning, I think, the day before the game, in Jared Bednar's press conference, I think he thought that Makar was going to be okay to play. Did you get that sense?
I did not. I thought he was couching it. Like, is it a concern? Not yet. That told me that there was a good chance that we weren't going to see.
I read it the other way. I read it that it's not. You know, I haven't been told he's not playing yet, so it's not a concern yet.
He didn't skate today. He did skate yesterday. So I don't know where that leaves. Now, Mark Stone, we're hoping is going to be available at some point in this series. He didn't skate today either. So I'm careful to read too much into what happens on off days.
Well, and that's what happens during the playoffs, right? Is that there's a little bit of subterfuge, and these guys, the players themselves, don't want to reveal anything negative at this point, and you're just not surprised if they show up and warm up.
Yeah, and the other thing is, if you skate, the National Hockey League wants you to talk. So.
And by the way, anybody on the Golden Knights now is requested they talk.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, you're right. Given the situation they went through, and
right. That
should be the case, right? Quite honestly, and we've seen an example of that of guys being available, and it's been wonderful the last couple of days. But so I don't know whether there's some cat and mouse there with Makar and or Stone not skating today.
You know, John, I wanted to circle back to the thought that you had on Dylan Coghlan, organizational depth, all of that. And, you know, when you factor in that the Golden Knights were able to close out Anaheim without Mark Stone, without Braden McNabb, without Jeremy Lauzon, the fact that they've got Dylan Coghlan coming into the mix here, is that maybe an aspect that Kelly McCrimmon doesn't get enough credit for, his ability to build depth within the organization beyond just going out and getting a guy like Mitch Marner or making the trade for Jack Eichel? It's how he backfills everything inside of the organization.
Yeah, I mean, I think, first of all, I think Kelly's one of the top 5 general managers in the game. I think he has a better sense of everything that's going on with his organization than most GMs. I think it's in his blood. I think that his tenure in junior hockey exposed him to the ability to be, quite frankly, cutthroat when you need to be cutthroat, and that has paid off for the Golden Knights. And then, you know, and we're going to use a phrase that we use for players, but his puck sense is outstanding. It's outstanding. So when you are, and his knowledge of what it's going to take to go through and get to the Stanley Cup final, I think nobody understands it better. So, yeah, I mean, finding depth, using depth. I think there's a huge advantage of having your American League team down the street, too, in order to understand that, to look at players.
VGK Insider Show on Fox Sports Las Vegas. Darren Millard, Ryan Wallace chatting with our NHL insider, the co-host of 100% Hockey, the podcast, John Shannon. Accompanying him is Gordy in the background. Gordy was working that squeaky toy hard. And now, what is it, a bird back there that's got to stay?
No,
you've got the bird feeders out.
Gordy has been locked out of the office, and he's not happy.
Oh. Well, he shouldn't be. Why is Gordy not allowed in the office?
Because the squeaky toy was driving me nuts. So he's got the squeaky toy going, and now he's sitting. He's got his nose is stuck through the cat hole in the door. Wanted to know why he can't be on Las Vegas sports radio.
I love it because I deal with it all the time when I'm at home when we're recording the podcast. Our dog,
Gordy's not allowed in the studio at home, so.
I love the fact that that's happening right now to you. I don't wish ill will on you, but I appreciate.
Yeah, you do. You do. You're
now.
Enjoying my misery here. You're enjoying this. So, and so you know, for years, Ryan, when we started doing this, I had another dog, and he loved listening to me yell at the telephone, and so he would just sit on the bed glued to me, talking to Darren or talking to anybody. But from that perspective, Gordy is a little different, just being a puppy 11 months old.
Yeah.
Gordy doesn't
understand that. We got a couple
minutes
left. In a minute, if you can. Rest versus rust. What are we going to see in this Carolina-Montreal series? My fear is that it's going to be brief.
I think it's going to. I would not be surprised to see another 4-game Carolina victory. Yeah. Honestly, I really do. I think that they're on a machine. They're a machine. I think Freddie Anderson, if he stays healthy, is doing what they expect him to do. That line of Stankoven, Hall, and Blake have really taken over on so many ways and relieved the pressure from a guy like Sebastian Aho. Jacob Slavin is the real deal. All the American fans saw that at the Olympics, and he's carried it on in the second half of the season. It is not out of the realm to think that the Carolina Hurricanes will go to the Stanley Cup final after 12 consecutive victories.
Incredible. Be fun to watch. And Montreal is alive. And well, last time they were in the third round, Dom Ducharme, Golden Knights assistant coach, was their head coach. So a few ties if Montreal gets there with Marty St. Louis and being a former player. Well, two former players that won cups in Rod Brind'Amour and Marty St. Louis squaring off in that one. We got to fly. Thanks for doing this. Appreciate it. I'll talk to you tomorrow on 100% Hockey.
And I just hope that George is in his hotel room down the hall listening, and I just want to say hello to my pal George.
I saw him today, and we talked about you. So just to let you know.
Oh, that's good.
He's a big fan of yours. Yeah. Actually, a few people around here have mentioned your name. A lot of people have mentioned your name around Denver lately. There's John Shannon with us on the VGK Insider Show. I'm not joking. People love you. Dave Keown Jr. and I had a chat about you, too. We'll talk to you tomorrow. We'll continue on the VGK Insider Show. We continue on Fox Sports Las Vegas. Hour number 2 is coming up next.
Live from the Richard Harris Law Firm Studios.
Izquierdo, Brandon Saar, frente a la red, el disparo. ¡Gol!
This is the VGK Insiders Show.
Tiene ángulo para sacar el disparo, uno más. ¡Gol! Pavel Tirando el off y manejando Ramo.
With Darren Millard and Ryan Wallace.
Vamos a ver si lo hace. El disparo y el portero. ¡Gol! ¡Que sabe a gloria Alejandro Romo! Red Howden.
On Fox Sports Las Vegas.
Jesus Lopez. Calling the VGK games. He was at the media availability today. He asked a question. You'll hear it when we bring in Brett Howden and Ivan Barbashev in just a little bit. Asked the question first in Spanish, and I thought, does he think Barbie and Howdy speak Spanish? And then he clarified and translated it to English. But cool moment there. We'll get to that. We'll also hear from John Tortorella in just a little bit. His media availability from earlier today. Probably save that and roll it into one-timers, news and notes from around the National Hockey League, bring you up to date with what's happening around the National Hockey League. It's Darren Millard, Ryan Wallace, Jared Justice, all with you here on the VGK Insider Show on Fox Sports Las Vegas. VGK coming off a 4-2 win in Game 1 of the Western Conference Final. Mike Rupp from the NHL Network stopping by in just a little bit. Where do you think Vegas wants to improve going into Game 2? Ryan.
Colorado Avalanche had in that game. So, I think you probably want to cut down on some of the looks for Colorado going into game number 2. Again, I thought the Golden Knights were really good at kind of finishing off their chances. I thought they were great, again, along the walls. They won a lot of battles in that game. And, I think more than anything, it's going to go back to what I talked about against Anaheim. It's going to talk about going to go back to what I talked about against Utah. I think for the Golden Knights, puck possession in the offensive zone is incredibly important as the series wears on. I thought Colorado had the puck a lot in game number 1. Not sure if the numbers that you have are going to back that up or not, but I would just like to see a little bit more from the Golden Knights holding the puck in the offensive zone, forcing the McKinnons of the world to play defense in game number 2.
Yeah, ozone possession time. Certainly, your eye is right on the money with that. With a more than double advantage in ice time with puck possession in the ozone. Vegas has to be careful when they get an opportunity to get out of danger to get that puck out. There was a couple of times last night where they would get it to the line, but weren't able to push the puck out all the way. And that's an area where you get it that close and you don't get it out, it's almost always going to result in some kind of chance. It's just the Murphy's Law of hockey coming at it. And there was a few times last night during the course of the game where Vegas could just be a little bit more vigilant in making sure that they're able to get the puck out of the zone.
Yeah, and that will certainly be important against a highly skilled Colorado Avalanche team. And yeah, to your point, there were a couple of plays. One, I think, for Logan O'Connor in the first period, where the Golden Knights, to your point, had it at the line, unable to get out. It leads to O'Connor pulling the puck off the wall, going to the front of the net. You get a couple of big saves from Carter Hart. So your goaltender bails you out in those situations, but you want to relieve the pressure as efficiently and as quickly as you possibly can if you're the Golden Knights, especially once Colorado gets into those extended opportunities or extended shifts in the offensive zone.
Did you have a favorite save last night by Carter Hart? Because there were some like marquee stops at big time moments, and then there was just flat out great saves.
Yeah, I think because of the context of the game and when it occurred, it's probably the glove save on Kadri at the end of the first period, right? Like, it's a massive play. It prevents Colorado from scoring first. It allows you to get to that first intermission 0-0. Like, I think that save, again, it was a great execution in terms of the save from Carter Hart, but the fact of the matter is I think that's the one that sticks in front of my mind for me.
Let's slide over to Mike Rupp from the NHL Network. You can watch Rupper on NHL Now weekdays at 2 o'clock Pacific throughout the Stanley Cup playoffs. How are you, Rupper?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Doing great. Darren Millard, Ryan Wallace with you on the VGK Insider Show. Did you see that as a steal or a goalie win last night for Vegas? Because Colorado, despite losing, played a pretty good hockey game.
Yeah, I mean, the way you kind of phrased it made it. I don't know. I don't know if you meant it that way. I kind of took that as a steal either way. I didn't view it that way. I thought this was a team that took advantage of the opportunities. They were efficient in their goal scoring in Vegas, and when you go into a game and the other team's without one of their best players, you better win it. And they did. So, I mean, yeah, I thought Colorado looked really good. I mean, they looked good. They looked like they were at their best. I maybe wouldn't say that, but they certainly had their chances and had that late push. But, I didn't – I don't know. I think we were talking about that at the network today where is this I guess, an endorsement of how Vegas is playing or maybe Colorado – not being so good, and I'm going to lean more towards the Vegas side. I just think that's how you beat Colorado. Like, you're not going to control a lot of areas of the game, but when you get opportunities to score, you got to score. You got to have big plays at the right time. I thought that's what that Mitch Marner power play assist was. They had those moments in the game. I think they earned it.
How far away is Colorado from a goalie controversy?
It's interesting you brought that up because I thought that going into this series, I'm sitting there thinking to myself, I'm like, these are Jennings Trophy winning goaltenders this year. They've been really good, and this team's been very strong. But I was thinking, like, early on in the series, I'm thinking to myself, if they can, and you want to get to any goalie, whoever you're playing against, get in front of them, make their life miserable, try to chase them out of a game if you can. But I think in this situation, because you saw them kind of going back and forth a couple times, it's just if you could chase the goalie here early in the series, all of a sudden, even if they don't feel like it internally with that team, they're going to get asked about it all the time. I mean, every question from the media is going to be, "What are you doing net here?" And I think you're looking for any edge you can get. I mean, I think we're close to it. A game 2 loss or a game 2. Goalie that lets in a couple weak ones, like that all of a sudden's a story. And who knows? Once that thing starts snowballing and running downhill, it can get out of control.
Mike, when you start to think about the Golden Knights right now at this stage in the Western Conference Final versus, maybe where they were with 8 games left in the regular season when the coaching change happened, like where are the areas or what are the areas where you've observed the most growth or change or whatever the word you want to attach to it with the Golden Knights? Like, what's allowed them to get to this point?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good one. I hate to always pin it on one thing, but I even thought that the teams, they played pretty well as far as a goaltender environment of what they provide for their goaltenders. And I just think that, they weren't getting the saves, and I don't want to make it about one thing, but that was a pretty big thing in the way that we're seeing kind of Carter Hart play, and that's really kind of given this team an edge now that they didn't maybe have down the stretch there. So, I think that's probably the biggest thing, and I just feel like whatever's happening, maybe it is just a new coach. I mean, I'm a big Torts guy. I've talked to you guys about that before. He has this way of motivating you come playoff time, this way of just kind of challenging you. He always uses, I know we saw it a lot. I saw it, I'm pretty sure he used it even in post-game. You guys have probably heard him say the word swagger a million times. Mike Sullivan used it a ton. I had both those guys in New York, and that was something he preached all the time, is that swagger, that arrogance. Torts would use a lot too, and I think arrogance is always revered as like this negative thing. But for John Tortorella, it's a positive, and you want your team to feel that way. And it just kind of feels like that's what this team is. They have some arrogance now. They have some swagger that maybe they didn't show all season long. And for whatever reason, right now it's coming at the perfect time.
We're chatting with Mike Rupp from the NHL Network. You can catch him on NHL Now weekdays at 2 o'clock Pacific throughout the Stanley Cup playoffs. Chatted with Torts yesterday, and coming off a conversation with Keegan Colasar, who called John Tortorella hilarious. I've never heard him described that way, and Torts said he's never heard that either. How do you describe Torts?
Yeah, I mean, it's that's the thing with Torts is like you can mess around with him. You know what I mean? Like you could joke around with him. He's got a good sense of humor. You can kind of rib into him a little bit, and he'll give it back to you. And at the end of the day, all this man literally cares about is that you just give him everything. You know what I mean? And when you have those things, and when I was in New York with him and things were going good, there'd be times I remember a specific story where we were playing well, and you guys, in practice when you kind of stand in the corner for the drill, if a shot's coming from the far side, coming down the other side, like these pucks get ripped around the glass, and you got guys in line, you got to kind of do your turtle shell and drop your head down and all that good stuff. Anyways, I remember I finished a drill, and I remember I said to Dan Girardi, I said, hey, watch this, I'm going to get Torts next time we go down, and Torts is standing on like that top of the circle along the boards, and he's watching guys come down and shoot, and he's not fully looking after the shot, and I drag my stick along the glass to make it sound like a puck's coming around the glass, and just yell heads up, and Torts drops down, and then he gets up, and we're all laughing, and he's good with that stuff. Like he laughs, tells you to blank off, and tell this is good stuff. It's good team camaraderie. Like you can give it to him. All he cares about, you bring effort, you bring determination, you sacrifice for the team. He is fun. He can be hilarious. Isn't always right off the shoot, but that's something that I think that people don't see all the time. He's a guy that can unite his room.
Mike, you look at Mitch Marner right now and the run that he's had with the Golden Knights so far in the postseason. Does the success for Marner, putting the puck in the back of the net, leading the playoffs and scoring to this point, does any of it surprise you, or is this just a case of a player with a change of scenery, finding the reward for all of the little things that he does so well?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is Mitch he's been a Selke finalist before. Like we know he competes and can play hard and plays good on both sides of the puck. It was funny. We were just talking about this earlier today, where just the change of, I guess, the pressures of not playing in Toronto, and there's a demand. I mean, you talk about. I mean, I'm not inside that room, but man, I would. Just the way that Vegas Golden Knights have done business over the years, like they demand the team to be good and to compete and all those things, and it's revered as one of the more cutthroat teams in the league, and I say that in a positive way. Like they demand a certain level and have this level of expectation. But the reason why I'm bringing this up is, Mitch. Everyone's always said like Mitch Marner doesn't he hasn't gotten it done in the playoffs, or the Toronto Maple Leafs weren't getting it done in the playoffs. And I've always watched Mitch in the playoffs, and his numbers have been really, really good. He's over a point a game, I think, in the playoffs overall, like just talking about his career. He hasn't – the one area that maybe wasn't there is scoring goals. He drove offense. He got a lot of assists in the playoffs with the Toronto Maple Leafs. But when they would get into a series, maybe a 7-game series, he wouldn't have a goal. But he'd still be about a point a game through those games. And the reason why I mention that is because everyone kind of ran with this, he can't perform in the playoffs. But then I sit there and I look at Jack Eichel this year's playoffs. This guy, what does he have? 1 goal, whatever he has, 13 assists or 12 assists, whatever that number is.
Yeah.
14 assists, thank you. Are you ever going to say that about Jack? No. Jack's incredible. He's been playing great. He's driving offense. I mean, would you like to see Jack score more goals? I'd like to see every player on the team score more goals. And I guess the thing is, no one's questioning Jack Eichel being able to perform in the playoffs because he's still performing. He's just not getting the goals. And I guess my point is like, I don't think it's ever been a problem with Mitch in the playoffs. Now he's on a team now that has some other pieces that have thrived in those situations. It's just, quite frankly, a better built team, and you're seeing him thrive. I love the way he's playing right now. He's making, like I said, in that game, that assist he got on the power play, like that's world-class stuff, and that's like number 8 as far as world-class plays he's made in the playoffs that result in the Vegas Golden Knights goal.
Eichel, 15 assists, picked one more up last night. So he's got 16 points, second in the Stanley Cup playoffs in points behind Mitch Marner. Chatting with Mike Rupp. Just before I let you go, do you have a comparable for Brett Howden and the story that he's writing with his 9 goals in the Stanley Cup playoffs?
Ooh, that's a good one. You know, it's funny because when Vegas won, when you guys won the Cup, I was covering it obviously with NHL Network. You know, we were down on ice level post-game celebration, and I watched a lot of Brett Howden as far as being with the Rangers and coming up kind of into the league. And I really, really liked his game, and I remember talking to him on the ice, and it was just kind of mentioned that to him. Like, I loved his game, loved watching players put in the work and getting rewarded, and he's just gotten better even since then. And it's just, I thought he was always a good kid, and you kind of root for that. As far as the way he's playing, you know, I still don't think we've seen the ceiling on him. I know he's incredible right now in what he's doing goal-wise in the playoffs, but he's a big kid. He's a big boy. He's got some really nice skill. He goes to the areas. I mean, the way, even the play last night, coming in the same game where Marner had that great assist, that was a pretty nice play by him, just to glove that down real quick and get a stick on that, you know. And he just the comps for him, it's tough. I don't know. I don't want to undersell him. I don't want to oversell him. I don't think we've seen the ceiling on him yet. He's just a player that I find the biggest asset for him is his versatility, and you can play him up and down your lineup. And so I'm going to kind of cop out here and not give a comp. Just know I love his game, and I think he's bringing it to another level in the playoffs here.
Right.
So when you look at this series, Golden Knights, Colorado Avalanche, the hockey world has kind of let everybody know that they view this series as one where the Golden Knights are the underdogs. Like, if Vegas goes on to win this series, do you view it as big of an upset as the rest of the hockey world might?
I mean, I picked Vegas to win the series. It is a big upset, though, because of how dominant this team in Colorado is. So is it an upset? Like, I would be foolish, even though I think they're going to win, I still think it would be quite a bit of an upset. And but that doesn't mean that they're not, you know, I guess the bigger thing is you don't need the stars to align and some fluky thing to happen for the Vegas Golden Knights to win this series. They're a good hockey club. And I think that the way that everybody views Colorado just seems inevitable. I think in most people's mind all season long that it was going to be Colorado. So, yeah, I mean, it's an upset. It's an upset just because of the talent that is on that Colorado team, and really that they haven't struggled very much all season long. So, but it certainly could be done. I mean, I thought that I picked them when I thought Cale Makar was going to play. So as long as he is not playing, and if they can keep winning those games and banking those, because you don't know obviously if he's coming back or when he's coming back. I mean, that's huge. This is a good hockey club. I don't want that to get lost in this. And if they do make it on, I'll be tooting that, saying I called it. And this is a good hockey club. It deserves everything they're getting right now.
Sounds like you're on the road. Go enjoy Game 1 between Montreal and Carolina. 2 goals, by the way, in the first minute of that game. We've got Seth Jarvis and Cole Caulfield. Yeah, first 2 goals in the first minute.
There we go.
Jarvis scored 30 seconds in, and then Caulfield scored. So thanks for this, Rupper. Appreciate it. Hopefully we see you in the Stanley Cup.
Almost home. I'll flip it on. Yep, we'll see you guys.
Boy. Be good. There's Mike Rupp from the NHL Network. Catch him on NHL Now every day at 2 o'clock throughout the Stanley Cup playoffs. Marvelous start, if you want, exciting and goal scoring. Exact opposite. Like last night was an exciting game because there was no goals and they were trading chances. The goaltenders were spectacular. Tonight, a much different story with both teams finding the net in the opening minute between Montreal and Carolina. Back to the focus on Vegas. Earlier today, Brett Howden and Ivan Barbashev have met with the media to talk about the afterthoughts of game number 1 and what's ahead in game 2 tomorrow.
Brett, Coach said last night it wasn't flawless. There were inconsistencies. So for you, game 2, what does that look like? What does that look like in terms of improvement for the team?
Yeah, I mean, I think each game we're looking to improve our game and get better. I think coming out with a good start tomorrow is probably going to be what's on our mind, and then continuing to feel good about our game and keep building off of that.
Left side back row, Nick.
Brett, and trying to have some fun with this, but like when you're on a heater like this, are you superstitious? Are you taping your stick the same way? Do you do the same routine? Anything like that?
I feel like I'm not too superstitious. No, I feel like I have the same routine, but some doesn't go the right or the same way at the exact same time. It's not going to throw me off. So I'd like to say I'm more in a routine than superstitious.
But more seriously, from a hockey standpoint, like what do you do to keep this going? Right, to keep play, not necessarily score, but keep playing the right way to put yourself in position to score.
Well, I think it just comes down to like the kind of games that we're playing right now. I think nobody's really thinking too much about anything like that. Everybody's just focused on the task at hand and you know, the opponent we're against and bringing our best team game every game. And you know, I think that's just what our mindset is right now, collectively as a group.
Other questions? Right side, second row. Danny.
Your guys' line. Sorry. I mean, I can go to Brett if you need.
That's good.
Your line has always been good about playing on the walls, getting the puck to Jack, and things like that. There's a couple opportunities last night where you guys were just a little bit off mark. Did you feel like as the game went on, your line was inching closer to, you know, getting those opportunities and finding ways to score there?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I think we can play better. I don't think we've shown our best as a line, but you know, I think Bob and Jack, they've been playing well, but as a line we can do a little better. You know, just game 1, and you know, I think moving forward, we just got to improve ourselves.
Left side, second row.
Brett, Torts has kind of described you as a Swiss Army knife player that he can trust in most situations. What kind of pride do you take in that game, and how have you worked to grow into that?
Yeah, I mean, I think over the course of my career, I've started to, I think, build a little bit more consistency in my game, and I think that was something I struggled with early on, and then I think just being able to, I think when I came here, I started playing wing a little bit more and kind of got used to that, and then just being able to go back to center if we have a center down or something like that. I enjoy that. I've played center my whole life, and then I've gotten kind of used to wing as well, so I enjoy going back and forth. But yeah, honestly, I try to bring the same game, just try to play an honest game and try to bring my best that I can every night.
Right side, front row.
For Brett, with all the successes you've had in the postseason, is there any part of you that sits there and thinks, maybe I should have asked for a little bit more money?
No, that doesn't cross my mind once. No.
Left side, third row.
When you're in the regular season and you're not having the results that you're having now, how do you just stick with it and have that same belief through a long season?
Sorry, what's that? Sorry, can you say that again?
During the regular season, when you're not having quite the same results that you're having now, how are you just able to stay with it and know that this is on the other side, or it could be on the other side?
I don't know. I think sometimes it's the way the puck's bouncing too, the way the puck's going. You know, sometimes you get the bounces. Like, for example, the goal I had last night, that was just kind of a crazy bounce. So I think sometimes they go, sometimes they don't. And I try not to let that waver, not to let that, you know, dictate how I play or let that affect my game. I try to bring the same game every night.
How does Charlie react when you make these big-time goals in these big-time games?
He doesn't really know what's going on, but I was talking to him this morning. He's trying to practice his celebrations right now at home, so it's pretty funny. It's pretty cool seeing him, just how much he's starting to enjoy it and really love it.
Right side, fourth row.
I want to ask a person in Spanish.
¿Cómo controlan ustedes la presión del público cuando están fuera de casa? How do you handle the pressure of the audience, when you're away from home?
I mean, to be honest, I don't think we're doing much about it. We just come here and we play. Especially being on the road, I think it helps us a little bit more. I think we're always as a group, just hanging around, watching some movies. It's not a big difference for us. Yeah, we're just trying to stay focused.
Brad, anything to add to that?
No, I think Barb's
Right side, third row.
Speak Spanish. Brett, I know every game is its own game, but when 11 different guys were on the score sheet last night, up and down contributions, Coghlan gets his first, Dow beats out the icing. How much does the collection of everybody helping in the cause carry over, or can it carry over to another game?
Yeah, I think so for sure. I think that's something special about our group is that just the amount of depth that we have, and then I think that everybody chips in every night. Last night, for example, that was a huge game, just from everybody collectively as a group. And I think that's going into every game. We all lean on each other. We don't expect one guy to do everything. So I think going into every game, we feel confident in that way, and that we can all lean on each other in all different situations in the game. And that's something that, like you said, we can build off of and keep going into game 2.
Brett Howden and Ivan Barbashev earlier today. Golden Knights did not practice as a team today. The extras did skate over at Ball Arena, but the main group took the day off, recuperate, get some treatment, and get ready for game 2 tomorrow. Much different game last night than the one that's being authored right now in the Eastern Conference Final between Montreal and Carolina. Rest versus rust. That's the situation, the question that's being asked. One team went 7 games in its first 2 series, played the max. The other team went the minimum in the first 2 rounds, authoring sweeps. We'll tell you what's happening between Montreal and Carolina as we continue with one-timers. News notes from around the National Hockey League next on Fox Sports Las Vegas.
Carlson left corner, centered, one-timer, score!
It's time for One-Timers. A quick look at news and notes from around the National Hockey League. Brought to you by Paul Pata Law. It's not about the injury, it's about the recovery.
Normally, I'm not in favor of telling people that there might be something more entertaining on the radio than the VGK Insider Show, because I think we're pretty damn good.
Yeah.
But Game 1, Montreal and Carolina is available, right?
Yeah, it's right there. It's in front of you.
So
you have an option to look at it, watch it.
Yeah. And right now, Montreal and Carolina aren't even through the first 10 minutes of the opening period of the Eastern Conference Final. And the Habs have fired 10 shots on goal. 10 shots, and we're not even done 10 minutes, and they have 3 goals. Carolina gave up 10 goals in the first 2 rounds total. And Montreal struck for 2 inside the first 10 minutes and have a 3-1 lead on 3 straight goals. The old rest versus rust, it's like Darren Elliott's 4th period effect. If you play on back-to-back nights, you're usually really good in the first period, the next night. That's what Montreal's feeding off right now, momentum, and Carolina just looks a step off tonight after 11 days between games.
Yeah, listen, I think it makes a lot of sense that, coming into this game, the Canadians were probably going to be the team that, had just, more connectivity, right? Because they played not too long ago. They were in rhythm for the most part. And for Carolina, they have off for 12 days. It's a lot of time. It is a long stretch without playing hockey games for the Hurricanes. I still ultimately believe it's going to be beneficial for them in this series and for their hopes of winning a Stanley Cup, but you might have to eat 1 game or a period or 2 until you get your rhythm back underneath you, as Carolina will.
And we'll see what happens the rest of the way in this one. Once Carolina finds its footing, because they normally come out and they blitz you. It's just all-out attack, as a buddy of mine that played in the National Hockey League said one time. They're everywhere. I can't keep up. And that's what you usually face against the Carolina Hurricanes, and it takes a while to adapt to that. That hasn't been the case early on. It's been the exact opposite. Montreal with the flow early, and Carolina in a position to have to rally back. They've done so far in the Stanley Cup playoffs a couple of times. It hasn't been a perfect march, but they are 8-0 through the first two rounds, and we'll have to clamber back to starting this game one of the Eastern Conference Final at home. We'll keep you up to date on that as things go along, and there might be a few goals in the next 20 minutes. But right now, let's get back to the VGK side of things. John Tortorella spoke earlier today to the media on his team's performance and what to do going into game number 2, up 1-0 in the series.
John, hoping to have some fun with this. Brett Howden's on a heater. So when you got a guy on a heater, like, what do you do? Do you talk to him? Do you stay away from him? Do you, how do you handle that?
I just put him in the spots on the ice that I think he needs to be in, which is a lot of different spots. He's a very versatile player for us, and is doing a lot of the little things right.
Front left.
John, I'm just wondering, prior to joining the organization, what did you appreciate in Thomas Hertl's game, and how has that evolved getting to see him up close?
Well, I haven't watched Tommy's game for years, so it's a tough question for me to answer. What I appreciate about Tommy is how he's progressed in the past few weeks as far as doing things away from the puck until he started bringing some offense to us. And I think that's coming. I think more and more offense is coming out of him. But he's worked hard at the other parts of the game. There was times where I wasn't sure where it was going to go, but he's worked hard at it, and I think he's kind of solidified himself in a complete game.
Right side, front row.
After you went back over and watched the game a second time, did it change your opinion at all?
Well, the games, whenever you see the game live and then you watch it on tape, there's always different things you see that you didn't see. I'm not going to break it down here. There are a number of things. I will tell you this: there are a number of things that we need to be better at.
Right side, third row.
We asked you a lot about Nick Dowd's Utah series. I'm curious to play the empty net, scoring, to find a way to beat out the ice and get the goal. His impact, not just last night, but what you've noticed in the last few weeks from him and that line.
He is what I define as the ultimate glue guy. He takes face-offs for us. He kills penalties. He blocks shots. I usually go with him after we score a goal, or do we need to change the momentum of a game. I think that line has done that for us also. He's a guy, although he's not the biggest name on our team. I've seen him play so much from coaching in the East. He's a guy that you're always looking for in those certain situations in the game. And the greatest thing about that goal, I think, for him last night was usually we were just talking about it, Kelly and I, and usually when someone throws a puck at the open net, everybody just kind of watches it to see if it's going to go in. He took off, and it was a great instinct because I don't think he gets there if he doesn't take off. I think it's not going to be a goal. So that's where he's so cerebral about everything. So he's a very important glue guy in the foundation of our concept.
Left side, third row, Gary.
Right here, Torts. It hasn't been a very easy last 2 years for Brandon Saad. Ends for him in St. Louis, and then this year some injuries. And when you arrived, you said, I need to remind our guys how good they are. Is he a microcosm of that? Because you've stuck with him, and it makes a huge play for you last night, and looks like his game is coming around.
Yeah, and I had Sauter in Columbus too, and it didn't really work out that well there between him and I at certain times, and that was one of my first conversations I had with him. I want to. We've been away from each other for so many years. I wasn't sure how it ended, with him and I in Columbus, and we had a very frank conversation right when I got here. He was one of the guys I seeked out right away to talk to, and I just wanted to let him know that just stay with it, because I know he wasn't in the lineup, and I know it's been a little bit of a struggle. And even through when I was playing Riley, it was kind of Riley and him. I'd always try to find him occasionally. I told him to keep on working. I love his skating. I think that's the key. And he's got the big core. He can hold on to pucks and just hold on to things and bring offense that way. He's made some really important plays. One being last night, a very important goal for us. And I look at Riley Smith. I think the same thing. It kills me I can't play him, but I only can put so many people in a lineup. Sauter's getting a chance here now, and I think he's trying to seize the moment and through a very rough time for him, because everybody wants to play, right? And we have to make those decisions. I'm happy he's given us some results.
Left side in the back, Darren.
What's your focus tonight? Do you watch the hockey, or do you step away from the game a little bit tonight?
Oh, I'm going to watch the game tonight, yeah. I'm not going to give you my agenda for the evening, but I'm going to be watching the hockey game, yes.
Just wondering where he's going for dinner, too. Like, do you
he didn't
sit
invite
in
you.
a place where there's got to be TVs, or do you enjoy your dinner and then catch up on the game after? Because he's missing a heck of a hockey game if he's out for dinner right now and doesn't have access to a TV.
Yeah, it's now. I'm showing 4-1 Montreal.
It's 4-1. No, it's 4-1. They've scored 4 straight goals. Demidov just scored on a mini breakaway as Carolina is just giving up rush chances everywhere. And I'm not kidding when I say this. Freddie Anderson's been okay. He's given up 4, and he's been okay. Just absolutely swarmed. Carolina is going to go on a power play with an opportunity to get back into it. But we're talking like almost half as many goals in this game tonight surrendered by Carolina as they did in back-to-back sweeps to start the playoffs. And I was with John thinking, John Shannon, who was with us earlier, the co-host of 100% Hockey Podcast, our NHL Insider, that Carolina might be able to march through undefeated to the Stanley Cup final. Mm-hmm. Sometimes efficiency can work against you. Do we think that Carolina will be able to find it? Yes. Is this reflective of the team that we saw in the first 2 rounds? No. There's going to be some knocking off the rust to your game required coming off 11 days between games. The hope was that Carolina could get through the first period somewhat close, but that's turning into a challenge, and there's still 7.5 minutes to go in the first period, and they're down 4-1, having surrendered 4 straight.
Yeah, I mean, it might just be a scenario where, because of the time off, because of the rust on the game for the Carolina Hurricanes, this is one game that you eat. But the fact of the matter is, it's still the first period, right? Like, there's still a lot of time in this game for Carolina to find it, and this is a team that can score still. Like, they can find the back of the net. So I don't think that this game is lost for Carolina. They certainly can't give up any more. And, as you mentioned, if they're going to a power play, you'd love to see a power play goal for the Hurricanes to cut the lead to just 2 and give themselves an opportunity to really get back in this one.
Injury update from the Western Conference Final. No change regarding the status of Mark Stone. Did not skate with the extras today over at Ball Arena. Colorado Avalanche were on the ice, but Cale Makar was not. So we don't know the whereabouts of the possibilities of those 2 players suiting up in game number 2. Interesting. Makar has 5 points in 9 games. That's way off his pace, both regular season and playoffs. So I wonder if what is bothering him goes back to before the hit suffered late in the series against the Minnesota Wild, just based on the fact that he's gone 4 straight games without a point. So just let that work its way in. And for Vegas, important to win a game without Cale Makar on the other side, take advantage of that, but also like win a game when you don't have your captain. Like you're just buying more time for the captain to get back in there when he is able to return, and hopefully that's sooner than later.
Yeah, I think you can kind of look at it from similar perspectives on both sides, right? I think for the Avalanche, you want to win without Cale Makar so that you can feel good and kind of extend the series to a certain degree until he can get back in it. And the same thing for the Golden Knights. And what Vegas was able to do in game number 1 is they were able to beat the Colorado Avalanche without Cale Makar, and they were able to do it without Mark Stone. That's huge. It's massive. They've got the split no matter what. And now it's just about trying to find a better game, a more solid game from Vegas in game number 2.
Check back in on the Eastern Conference Final Series opener when we continue on Fox Sports Las Vegas. Stay with us.
Something to really take from how that game ended, or is it?
I've just said execution like 5 times. I think that's what hurts.
I'm on fire over here, lads. Come on, I need some back and forth. Come on, what do you got for me? What do you got for me? Now make it quick. Make it funny.
We're down to the wire. It's the last minute of play.
Montreal, Carolina opening up the Eastern Conference Final tonight in Raleigh. Carolina scored 33 seconds into the first period. Ready to go? Blip. Because Montreal has rattled off 4 straight goals and lead it in the back half of the first period. Just under 5 minutes to go in that 3-goal lead for the Montreal Canadiens, trying to open up a series win on the road in the Eastern Final, just like the Golden Knights. So one on the road to open up the Western Conference Final, handing the Colorado Avalanche their first home ice loss of the Stanley Cup playoffs. And Jared Bednar admitted last night, the head coach of the Colorado Avalanche, they haven't been in this position where they're facing a little bit of pressure, and they got to find a way to get a split out of these first 2 games at home as Vegas looks to take a pretty sizable advantage. And this is the 3rd straight series that Vegas has won the series start. They haven't been able to convert that into a 2-0 lead, so that's also on their bucket list to try and accomplish tomorrow.
Yeah, it's a massive game, obviously, for both Vegas and Colorado. For the Golden Knights, they'd love to win 2 in a row. They'd love to go back to Vegas for games 3 and 4 with a 2-0 series lead. And for Colorado, they have to find a way to not let that happen, right? And you're right. This is the first time in these playoffs that the Colorado Avalanche have been behind in the series. First time they've lost on home ice. And it's the first time that they're going to really need a big response. And we'll see how they handle that pressure because they have not been in this position so far in this postseason.
Good discipline. Vegas stayed out of the penalty box last night. That was nice to see if they can build on that as well going forward.
Yeah, for sure. I think, there's a fine line, right, between being aggressive and being physical without being, overly over the line and in the penalty box a lot. I thought the Golden Knights did a good job of maintaining physicality, of maintaining aggressiveness without taking a lot of penalties. So you'd love to see that continue for the balance of the series.
You like the save by Carter Hart off Nazem Kadri at the end of the first period. There was a save in the third period that Hart made with his glove off a tip from Brock Nelson that was headed into the goal. And there was some... You talk about swagger. Mike Rupp talked about that and John Tortorella earlier. There's some flair on that as he made the glove save and then gave a little bit of a twirl. Well, we're not on the air tomorrow. We are preempted for Game 2 of the Western Conference Final. We'll be back with you, though, as we continue the VGK Insider Show on Monday on Fox Sports Las Vegas. We'll talk to you then as we track the Vegas Golden Knights march through the 2026 Stanley Cup playoffs. Enjoy.